we go. Have you seen the sky lately? X marks the spot. Please make it stop. What will I tell my children about the sky when they grow up? You see, my sweet child, the clouds used to be thick and fluffy. You could turn them into any shape you wanted, a heart or a bunny. And now all I see, chemtrails, lines, and stripes, they just keep coming. Like the horrendous onslaught of attacks on our freedoms. Mask up, close your business, stay home, social distance. We'll take care of you, you'll be just fine. Oh, the corona vaccine won't be mandatory, you'll just pay a fine. Jail time. What is next? How did we get this far? My eyes have been open, but guard your heart, this stuff is dark. Let's talk vaccines. The 1986 law granted immunity from liability to the pharmaceutical companies because of the old wholesale DPT. It was causing so much brain injury. But they didn't want you to see, and now no incentives to test for safety, shots being added to the schedule, HPV. Hundreds in the pipelines, watch and see. They can poison our air, they can poison our food, but they can't poison me. What about body sovereignty, autonomy? But we get called the quacks, tin hats, conspiracy theorists, anti-vax, all pejorative slurs being propagated by none other than the mainstream MSM. You see, you can call me a conspiracy theorist till your face turns blue, but what that title fails to do is answer the essential question, is the information true?
The crew are dead.
This stuff gets darker. Should I go farther? The details I'll spare you. Some things if you only knew. Child trafficking, the Clintons, Pizzagate, and then there's QAnon. I don't know. Watch and wait. Whistleblowers dying mysteriously at WHO and CDC, Hollywood, Washington, I hate to say it, even Disney. Epstein Island vacations, the Bill Gates Foundation, Facebook censoring information, what is happening in our nation. Crooked politicians in bed with these elites making decisions, higher-ups doing things to children unspeakable. Yet we're down here worried about flu-like virus. It's time to wake up. This stuff will make you physically ill, but before reaching into the medicine cabinet or that pill, think twice. Because Big Pharma is tied into it all, the dark and twisted cabal. I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do with this except to speak out and resist this. And above all else, seek Jesus Christ. He's our only right, and into the darkness He is shining His light. He is the answer to all this chaos. He is my hope when all feels lost. His name is love. He wins this war. And when I'm searching for answers, may I search no more. Thank you.
Trump has done more for black people than any other president. So tell us what Trump has done for black people and give us the record of Joe Biden.
Thank you very much. Let's start with the 1994 crime bill. What Vice President Biden's support of the 1994 crime bill did was lock up more African-American men than any other crime bill in the last 50 years. With the First Step Act, the act that was supported by President Trump, I was a co-sponsor of it as well, we righted the wrongs done by Vice President Biden's support of the 1994 crime bill.
You know, I am, by the way, a fan of the 94 crime bill.
We have had thousands of letters from people who have been justly sentenced and released because of the First Step Act. Let's just think about the Opportunity Zones legislation, bringing $75 billion into 8,700 of the poorest, most devastated communities around the country. $75 billion of private sector dollars coming in. Let's talk about the Opportunity Scholarship Fund in Washington, D.C., supported by Dianne Feinstein, Cory Booker, myself, Ron John, bringing in quality education. There is a 25,000 student waiting list for quality education, and these charter schools and opportunity scholarships provide more resources better education so these kids can have a better future. Let's think about the Farm Bill. African American farmers, up until this last Farm Bill, were not able, if they had heirs property, to access the Farm Credit Agency to allow them to borrow against that property. For the first time, that is now happening. Let's think of the comments of the head of the United Negro College Fund, who said under this administration, this is the highest level of funding for historically black colleges and universities ever. This is the first time those colleges have had permanent funding in the legislation. Let's think about sickle cell anemia, a disease that is 100%, basically speaking, impacting of African Americans, 100%. My legislation, signed by the president, has ushered in more research and more scrutiny to make sure that we make more progress. Think about the Department of Defense and their partnerships with historically black colleges and universities. The list is long, and I would love to say, let's take these list of accomplishments, compare it to, if you have a list, Lindsay, I'm happy to wait and listen to the list of Biden's accomplishments.
Well, I'm not here to defend on either.
Exercises focus on stretching and opening the energy channels, which effectively unblocks the areas of congested energy in the body. After doing the exercises, the whole body will feel immediately relaxed, without any feeling of fatigue. The body will be purified from head to toe. The sitting meditation helps to increase one's energy level, develop endurance, and achieve tranquility.
It felt so peaceful, and it felt like something invisible, some energy, some of the heaviness that I was carrying with me was being lifted up. I felt like I could breathe again with ease. I felt very much happier. I couldn't explain it.
Last year I had some back pain, some lower back injury, and then I went to a hospital and I met this doctor who introduced me Falun Gong. When I was doing the exercise, I could feel heat around my lower back, and I felt much better, and the pain was relieved after very short exercises.
After I learned the exercises, I immediately stopped smoking. It was actually really easy.
I used to go see a lot of chiropractors and a lot of, masseuse, and because I've had a lot of chronic back and shoulder problems. So I've been practicing Falun Gong for 6 years, and not smoking, not drinking, no drugs, no chiropractors.
We practice in a park in Brooklyn, and many times African Americans would pass by and want to know why would we be practicing something like that when it's Chinese. And we basically try to help them to understand that it's not Chinese, it's not African American, it's not Anglo-Saxon American. It's a diverse practice.
It was offered in the park for free in New Jersey, where I lived, and I stopped by to practice and enjoyed it and went back and have continued to benefit from it for the past 7 years.
Falun Gong is based on universal principles of truth, compassion, and tolerance. And any person who is able to discern what these principles mean, doesn't matter which language and what culture they come from, they can definitely apply them to their lives.
In Chinese medicine, it is believed the health of the body is related to the health of the mind. Falun Dafa aims to achieve holistic well-being through the three principles of truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. The book, Zhuan Falun, is available to guide practitioners on how to apply these principles in their daily lives, improving their moral character, often with dramatic results.
The first test I had while practicing, my mom and my sister and I went to the beach, and my sister was in the worst mood, and she just screamed at me for about 5 hours, and I thought, be tolerant of me, forbear, and I did, and I just took it. I just said, okay, Erin, I'm sorry. That's my sister's name's Erin, and I mean, eventually my mom started fighting for me. But I also started crying eventually, but I didn't fight back. And then at that point, I thought, wow, I feel so good because I haven't fought back with her. And I feel so strong that, I didn't sink to her level. And after that, I've just been able to deal with her so much better. We probably have the strongest relationship now that we have since we were 2 little girls.
The contrast from being a young man, I was very, selfish and into myself and, following the crowd. But after I started practicing Falun Dafa, it helped me to bring out all the positive qualities that I had in myself and make it an everyday part of my life.